Hi, this is Tom Hutchinson's case study for internet use violations. The first thing we're going to look at in this case is what do we know? We know that Roosevelt High School is located in an affluent area of a large city and has many students whose parents are professionals. We know that the principal at Roosevelt High School, Dr. Stephen Forbes, has an outstanding reputation and wants to maintain Roosevelt as being considered the most prestigious high school in the state. We also know that Miss Walker was hired as a beginning teacher and is now in her second year. Three things that I want to know. What specifically has Randy Franks been saying and doing in Miss Walker's class? Does Miss Walker provide her students with a self-evaluation to fill out at the end of her class? And if so, what feedback is she getting? When Dr. Forbes has been receiving communication from parents, what specific techniques has he suggested to Miss Walker? And what follow-up communication has happened since she has not made any changes? The problem in this case study revolves around the fact that Miss Walker, a teacher at Roosevelt High School, received an email with a link that contained a message saying, quote, who wants Miss Walker to disappear, end quote. She feels threatened and believes this is from disruptive students in her class. She has been the subject of complaints from parents to Dr. Forbes, the principal, due to her workload and poor instruction they feel their children are receiving. My plan of action. First of all, I want to consult with the technology department. This contact is going to center around trying to find out the following things. Was this email sent to her school account? Was the email sent from a school email account? What was the email address of the sender? Are we able to use the IP address that the email was sent from to trace who sent it? Secondly, I want to talk with students Miss Walker suspects one-on-one. First of all, I want to talk with Randy just to discuss his behavior in Miss Walker's class. I want to also talk with other students who sit near Randy one-on-one to get a better picture of Randy's behavior. Then I want to talk with Randy for a second time to question his involvement in developing the web page. And lastly, if necessary, based on what I have found out so far, I may need to talk with other students. Thirdly, I think it's necessary to have an all-school assembly regarding cyberbullying and harassment. I want to have the technology department, librarian, and guidance counselors discuss cyberbullying and harassment and its effects. I want to have the administration talk about the consequences that are also discussed in the handbook. And lastly, I think it's important to explain to students who they can talk to if they feel they have been cyberbullied. How I want to resolve this issue based on promoting the success of all of my students. One way to promote the success of all students is to create a technology club for students that are interested in computers and creating their own website. Secondly, I think it's important to require all teachers to provide an end-of-course survey to students and have a neutral third party compile the results. Then, I want to ask the teachers to reflect on what the students have said. Third, once the principal makes recommendations to a teacher regarding their instructional strategies or classroom management, I think it's important that we create a process to ensure that these measures are implemented immediately. As I reflect on what I was thinking in this case, why would one of my students send a teacher an anonymous email with a perceived threat? Why has Miss Walker not integrated the techniques I mentioned with her into the classroom? Are we going to be able to easily figure out which students are behind this email? What I was feeling. I was angry that students would potentially act in this manner and treat a teacher as they did. I'm anxious to get to the bottom of this issue and figure out who created and sent this message. I'm hopeful that Miss Walker will be open to changes in her instruction methods as we move forward. Unresolved issues. Was the email to Miss Walker sent to her school email or personal email account? What was the exact email address of the sender of this message? What is the school policy for disciplinary measures regarding harassment or inappropriate use of technology? Now I reflect on what I value. I value having a school with a rigorous curriculum that challenges my students. I value the reputation that Roosevelt High School has of being amongst the most prestigious schools in the state. I also value hiring highly qualified staff to instruct in the classroom. What did I do throughout this time that demonstrates a sense of integrity and ethical behavior? I listened to Ms. Walker and let her know I will look into the matter and will continue to look into this issue on Monday morning. I'm also going to utilize an all-school assembly to further emphasize cyberbullying, harassment, and the seriousness of these actions. How I acted with fairness. I listened to what Randy and other classmates said before rushing to judgment or accusing a specific student of this act. I'm utilizing a neutral third party to compile the end-of-course survey, which demonstrates that I'm treating all of my teachers fairly and not on a witch hunt. What I did that demonstrates a personal and professional code of ethics. I'm seeking information from multiple students in Ms. Walker's class before accusing one student of this act. I expect my teachers to utilize the suggestions provided to them by administration to enhance the quality of education in their classroom. That concludes my case study.